So I circulated this amendment in a development case to councillors yesterday. So, the way I see this is my 2 years here, the bus system has got its issues. We've gone through those. So that's kind of here. We've got MRT, and I don't really want to get into the can of worms that MRT is, but the funding foundation has collapsed. This can't be highlighted in any greater clarity than the $78 million Crown funding that was supposed to accelerate PT Futures, the essential precursor to MRT, that was reallocated to the Ashburton Bridge and Brougham Street. This has caused the timeline to blow out catastrophically. We've gone from operational by the mid-2030s, and we're looking, it's been pushed back 10 years, exactly where we were before the Crown funding was announced. So bluntly, there's not going to be MRT on Papanui Road and Rickerton Road until the mid-2040s. This was established by the GCP director at a briefing in this chamber on May the 1st. So we've got these two systems going on, and then I've got an idea, and this idea actually came from the Regional Transport Committee in 2021, which is not in competition to MRT. We shouldn't view it as competition to MRT. We should view it as an alternative while we wait. It's a seedling outside of these two systems that today is fighting for survival. Christchurch Heavy Rail Transit, because the RTC in 21 recommended it go into our long-term plan year one, where where there was discussions around this. Eventually, staff wanted to put it into year 3, year 4. We went against staff advice in our long-term plan and we put it into year 2. And now through this annual plan process, the attempt has been to push it out of this long-term plan to year 4. My amendment today says let's keep that $525,000 in this year. Let's narrow it down so we're not just talking about studies or further work. Let's define what the problem is, and the problem is congestion in Greater Christchurch. It's congestion between Ralston, Christchurch, Rangiora, Christchurch. And let's take a focused development case to the only domestic agency and provider that can reasonably look at this problem, and that is Kiwi Rail. So the amendment seeks to bring the funding back into year 2, and the development case I've circulated originates from us, from ECan, and builds fundamentally on the Greater Christchurch Partnership 2021 indicative business case report. Those numbers in my development case all come through those reports. The call for action comes from multiple sources. Transport experts approaching us, approaching the Regional Transport Committee, and they're just saying, get it done. It comes from Ralston and Rangiora residents crying out for better services. This solution will solve those problems. It comes from a Minister for Rail, a position re-established after 24 years of not existing, because when the rail service was privatised through the Great Fire Sale of the 1980s, 1990s, we ceased to have that office, but it has been re-established, and Winston Peters is the new minister. And he says that he wants rail to succeed. And again, we don't have time to wait. Population is growing. You talked about it in GCP last Friday about what is forecast for the sub-region. Congestion is worsening. Our buses are saturated at peak hours. We don't have 20, 30 years to wait. We've organised a meeting with Kiwi Rail, Deputy Chair Pauling and I in September. If this amendment passes today, we're going to take the development case to Kiwi Rail. We're going to take the money available through this annual plan, and we're going to say, you're the provider. Can you build us a detailed business case for this $525,000 sum? We want to get this thing moving. Simultaneously, I'm advancing policy through my party's democratic processes within the New Zealand Labour Party. So this policy is moving at the moment. I have a regional conference in a couple of weeks where I will be making a similar speech to this to my party comrades. And with support from our members across New Zealand, I'm hopeful we're going to get this into the election manifesto for next year. But we have to be honest, and this is one of the issues we've had with MRT, is that we have to come to the table in terms of funding. Canterbury has to come to the table. We have to be serious about this. We can't keep moving these projects around. There are funding mechanisms that we'll have to explore as this process unfolds. And I'm looking at these already, and I'm looking at these with experts too. So I urge members today to support this amendment. For in the words of Marcel Roust, the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. Let's nurture this seedling into its next phase today.